This is a reminder that even if you feel that others do not understand you or get what you are doing, it is no excuse to curl up and hide. Sure, you may need a little bit of space right now, but the world needs your gift. You are more than worthy. A new path in a religion or spiritual quest. You are going through a spiritual awakening, which can feel like the dark night of the soul. You are on a path of enlightenment, and this too shall pass. Hey, rebels. Okay, so. Here is what is happening in the energy. I am hearing in vogue. Never gonna get it. 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 Never get it. Right? But looking at this Seven of Cups here, now I'm hearing Smash Mouth. Hey, now you're a rock star. Somebody or many people have told you that you were never going to get something in your life, that you were never going to be able to live a certain lifestyle. Now, a personal experience of mine was my mother. She, back when I was a teenager, it was a different time, a different era, and she felt that art and, crafts and just the arts, anything outside of music, would not be something that can support a lifestyle or support me, myself and I. And that's all I have in the end, right? And that's what I found out. But yeah, so somebody told you that something that you wanted to do at a younger age, and even as you gotten older, would never work out. And you are well on your way. You have this, you're embodying this mental clarity about yourself. Your body is your temple. So therefore, you can only live the life that you create for you. You can only supplement yourself due to the efforts that you're willing to put in. And Spirit wants to bring a message to your attention, which I'm yet to be sure about it. But obviously, you're walking away from whomever these type of people are. Those who are in disbelief of you, those who feel that you should do further research and that you shouldn't just jump straight into that cold pool and allow your temperature to adjust. So I want to go ahead and get our friendly deck, the Kipper-ish, and see to whom it is that you, what type of people, what type of energy are you removing your light from? Though they are going to be able to see your light at a good distance, because your light shines so bright, honey, it covers so much ground, and it's even going to touch them no matter how they choose good. Okay, so mature man. And we have a clarifier already for this mature man, because you know the mature man, okay. Faith, rich girl. You know what? Let's go ahead and double bubble everything. Destruction. Emotional pain. Ascension. Right there. Thoughts. Starseed. Opposition. Entity attachment. Don't they match so well together? Such a lovely couple. They belong together. Anyway, high honor. All right, we're going to go here. Actual monies. Divinity. Okay. Mature woman. All right. And at the bottom of the deck, we have voodoo. Okay. So let's sit with this for a moment and see what it is that we have here. You know, I'm feeling this energy of stagnancy. Not to say that you are stagnant, but to say overall, you are leaving behind the energy of being stagnant, of being in disbelief of what's in front of you to be what it actually is. Because it's not even that it seems, everything aligns so perfectly. I mean, let's look at it, right? In order for the rich girl to be the rich girl, she had to go through some stuff unless she was birthed with it. And even if she was birthed with it, she has to go through lessons of learning how to maintain it. So realizing that even though you have the finances, that you have the stability, that you still have to learn to be educated to be able to keep that afloat, right? Mature man in faith. The know it all, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, of a mature man. They feel most most men feel that due to their birthright of entitlement that they feel is a birthright to be entitled. They feel that they know it all, but to have faith in something outside of you and to align yourself in the willingness to follow the unknowing, but in faith, and with faith. Because remember, you have spiritual awakening back here. Let's go ahead and top that right there. Ooh, top that right there. Yes, spiritual awakening with 1001, right? Um, to believe that something outside of yourself and outside of your created understanding of what you're all knowing just is what it is. It takes a lot, especially within the 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 planet that we live in. There are so many men, many men wish death upon me, right? Lord, I can't cry no more. I can't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on myself. Don't let my heart turn cold. Okay, so there's so many men who are, they will attack a man who seems to step out of line to, what was a step out of alignment of the patriarchal structure, right? And to be a man who walks in faith, not by sight, and who actually believes that there is a higher power and allow themselves to be willing to submit themselves. Confirmation. To submit themselves and not just submit themselves as in, I'm gonna do what where you got, I'm gonna take the path that you guide me to, but to submit themselves as if they are entering not a contest, but entering, and not even a performance, but entering, what are we looking for, spirit? Entering a way of life. There it is. A way of life that the majority feel is a fairy tale of possibilities, right? It's it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength, especially due to, what it is that we know about the patriarchal and misogynistic constructs of everything. And that if you stay in that, you will be supported, but at the same time, you will as well be abused. So to be a mature man, to in faith and step outside of that and walk in faith and not by sight, and trust that you will be supported and that you will be supplied in all of your efforts and within abundance, and in, oh honey, grasping on to what actual maturity is, and ridding the idea of entitlement, because there's a gain in having the clear understanding of no one has to do anything for you, right? So that, to be at the center of the read, that is so deep, right? But then with the emotional, what is this? Emotional pain, okay, emotional pain and ascending to tap into space and realizing and understanding and acceptance that your pain, your emotional pain even, is not there to defeat you, that is there to educate you, that is there to bring things up to the surface that needs to be looked at, that needs to be nourished, that is relatable, that everyone has more than just the feelings of happiness and anger. And their happiness and anger seems to be on opposite sides of the spectrum, but at the same time, they're on shared sides of the spectrum as well. Because either you're extreme, either you're angry and you're really pissed off, or you're angry and you're happy to be angry because the ego right catches to you, or you're happy and you're really force fitting your happiness because you're so angry, or you're happy but you're so prideful in your happiness due to that blurred line. It's a lot, right? But to be ascending in a space of how deep in depth the emotions can go, and disciplining yourself in understanding where there needs to be restraint and where there needs to be release is such a necessary point before you get here with the mature man in faith. Now, yes, I understand we're going backwards, but obviously Spirit wants someone here, all of you here, to look at the journey that you have been on. So there's going to be a little back, forth, and forth. And with thoughts and star seeds, the dreams, the holding on to what has been, it's just been screaming on the inside of you. It's been wanting to get out. You imprisoned yourself due to what other people told you you wouldn't be capable of. And it's like that misalignment of the matriarch and hierarchy, and understanding that you are your own authority, because without the efforts of you, even if someone gave you an opportunity of whatever the goal may have been, or even the stepping stone may have been, even if someone gives you the opportunity, it's your efforts that has to be applied into making that opportunity whole. It's your efforts, it's your presence that has to create that to be a reality, right? A real reality at that. Not some, delusional lulu, illusion type thing. Um, it's like, I don't know if you've ever driven on the road during a hot summer day and you look down at the road, and the road that's right in front of you is dry, but you look a little far off at distance and it looks like there's water because there's so much steam. There's so much heat coming from the pavement that it looks like it's water. But once you get there, you realize that it wasn't water. And I don't even know if you, until this moment, realized that it was literally just the heat coming off of the pavement. But this seems to be the experience that you've constantly been in a cycle of, discovering that what you've seen before you with your eyes was actually an hallucination of different elements working together to create a picture for you. But until you get to that matching point, until you are right there meeting at that point of the ground, then you don't know actually what it is. But have you expanded your mind to understand what it actually was and what caused your hesitancy, right? With divinity and actual money, honey, a new phase in a religion or spiritual quest, okay, it has taken over you in such a supportive way. Though, and as this card said, this is a reminder that even if you feel that others do not understand you or get what you are doing, it is no excuse for you to curl up and hide. And you've been curled up and hidden like this, like that hedgehog, for so much of your life, and didn't realize that so much of your anxiety was because you were not invested in your self-interest. Mentally, you were there, but mentally as well, you were also avoidant. To jump straight over here to the opposition and the entity attachment, there's been this entity that's been stalking you down, trying to get you to let it back in. And it's like you've packed up this entity's things, but you still have yet to get all of the entity's belongings out of your damn house. Being, once again, your temple, your body is your temple. So you have yet to get this entity's possessions completely out of your temple because there was such a familiar clinging on relationship between you and this entity, not realizing that that entity created you to be your own self-defeat. That entity created you to be your own enemy. You know, your honey, you can be your worst enemy. You have been your worst enemy. And now that you have moved into this different space, whether it be religion or whether it be a spiritual, quest, you you are familiar with that entity yet and still. And this entity is the thing that has been projecting onto you. Hey, don't you remember when we used to? Don't you miss it when we used to? Hey, whenever we felt like this, we would normally go do this. When somebody did this, we would normally go do this. We would go to those specific coping spaces and those coping mechanisms and take those, for me, for instance, when I had this, when after dealing with an abusive relationship, honey, for over a year, I was walking, like taking these long walks. I had a checkpoint of where I would go. Point A, point B. Point A being back home, but I would walk to this certain place and then I would walk back home and I would have certain things with me every single time for over a year. And even something as that seemed to be as harmless as that, because walking is good. I was getting in my steps, I was getting in fresh air, I was getting fresh air, I was seeing, you know, enjoying nature. I seen some amazing thing, honey. One time, me and this guy, this Hispanic guy, we were walking at the same time, and we actually, and I'm telling you, not playing at all. But I know you seen the videos of the people who saw a person in the sky, right? I'm just, honey. Me, the Hispanic guy, he couldn't even speak English, but at the same time, me and him was pretty much speaking the same language. He tapped me on my shoulder and he pointed at the sky where I was already looking at, and it looked to be someone literally floating from the sky, like on some Mary Poppins type stuff. And there was no clouds. There was like very far off at distance, light fluffy clouds. But this was not, honey. By the time I pulled out my phone trying to take a picture of it, the person went behind the trees, okay, because it was a park, like very close in vicinity to where we saw this person floating at. And honey, look, if he hadn't have been there with me to see that, and I'm telling you, it was, I don't remember, it was like balloons. I don't remember if it was like balloons or umbrella that we saw, but it was like the same form and figure, like of, ooh, of his body. And at the same time, he had like a briefcase, huh? It's a lot of stuff people cannot tell me, but you cannot tell me that that stuff wasn't real at all. Like I said, if he wasn't there, I would have been like, what the hell? But nah, it happened. Okay, but back to you and this entity attachment. So for me, I was doing, though there was benefits to that habit that I had for like consistently over a year, without looking at like the other things that I could have been doing with that time. Because faithfully, first thing in the morning and late at night when the sun went down and the moon came out, I was doing that, for taking that walk for a year, because I needed to be with myself. This was also a point in time that I was listening to tarot during the walk. I had to remove myself from the house of distraction of my kids. I made sure that they had everything that they need, made sure that they was washed over, made sure that they got done what they needed to do. But I needed that time for myself. But even though I was having that time to myself, then there was this venture point of spirit telling me that there was other things that I could be doing with that time, that I got in the time that I needed to with that was a safe thing for me to do. But certain things that I was taking along the way, like honey, I was going to get coffee every time. Like, can you imagine doing that for over a year, and you're buying coffee every time, like every time you go out for that walk for over a year? Do you know how much money I spent? So then I had to get to the point of, okay, well, I'm going to take this walk, but I'm not going to buy coffee. I'm going to take this walk, but I'm going to take different turns. I'm going to explore it differently. I'm going to take this walk once a day. I'm going to take this walk maybe 3 times a week. No, I'm going to take this walk when it's necessary and I really need it as an energy release. No, I'm going to take this walk when I just want to, just because. And there was so much tension in me from going from doing that twice a day, every day for over a year and a half, to just minimalizing it to the point where I am at now. So, spirit, it's the same thing for you now. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that was so positive, right? But it could be something that was so positive for you, but also something that was, very, very deemed to be unnecessary, that you connected with, that still wants to hold on to you, but you're removing the requirements and necessity of this entity to still be a part of your temple. You remember it in memory. Confirmation. Though you can remember it in memory, to lean on it as hard as you did. It's like allowing someone to move in because you need help paying the mortgage, so you rent out a room. And now you're in a space of no longer needing help paying that mortgage. You try to help that entity to move, help that person to move on about. And not only are you doing it like you're kicking them out, no, you're not doing it that way. You're helping this entity realize what their purpose and their intentions was, but also that there's plenty of other fish in the sea that they can, that needs them, that they should go and explore life, and that they may need to explore life without you, and that y'all can even keep in touch for a little bit. But there's going to come a point in time that it's no longer going to be necessary, but you have it in memory. Okay, so I love this. Didn't I realize what I was saying, but I didn't even. I'm touching this, but okay. So high honor and mature woman. So you got mature man, mature woman. You've learned how to nurture not just yourself, your mental clarity, your ideas, your trusting yourself, nurture, and I heard knowing the power of a woman's silence and not needing to speak all the time, not needing to be so loud, not needing to force your presence, and just allow yourself to be. Wow. You've literally gotten to a place where even if you are not completely where you want to be within your serenity and your peace and yo num your whole reggae yo, okay? You went through this culture shock. And this culture shock was necessary to your nervous system to assist you and help you and guide you in balancing yourself out and your self awareness and being able to identify yourself and the gracefulness of you. You are nurturing every ground that you walk on, every space that you step in. There is this aura about you. I'm telling you, I just felt like this. It's not even a chill. It's like my whole body is floating. Just as that person who we saw in the sky, me and that guy. And do forgive me. I'm still learning whether do we call them Latin, do we call them Hispanic? I'm not sure. But I want to definitely be respectful to whomever comes into to this space, because you never know. You just never know. But for you with yourself, you figured it out. Tender kisses, blown away. Gone tomorrow, gone today. How does that song go? I think it's, what's her name? Ain't got time for it right now. But let's get this card right here. And it says, better not to know. Have faith in the universe and avoid relying solely on your own understanding. Your guides have chosen to withhold information for now, as you are not prepared to receive all the answers. So, what this is saying to me is, honey, though you've reached this very confirmation, though you've reached this very exciting point with yourself, that you are understanding and feeling what peace is, what balance is, that when you see that justice card, you understand what true justice is for you and how to identify how justice has assisted you to get to that place of unblind, taking that blindfold off and still being able to experience life within the senses as if you were blind. There's more to come. And it does say surprises. Baby, we gonna split the deck right here and we gonna let you go on about your way. Honey, honey. Mm. Two of Pentacles. It's a lot more to come. It's a lot more to come. But Spirit say you got it. You're gonna be able to balance. You're gonna be able to ride those waves and you're gonna enjoy every bit of it. Okay? So then new beginnings. You are invited. You are invited to instigate change, but you are also being warned that this transformation may be radical. Get rid of everything in your current life that can prevent you from improving. Based on this principle, destroy before rebuilding. Okay, you are promised a beneficial rebirth, honey, honey. You can do anything you set your mind to by yourself, but life is to be shared. Partner up with the right spirit and you will become a force. Honor commitments and people around you. Do not judge. Listen, rebels, I love you. Go live your life and make it do what you needed to do for you, baby. Okay? Mm, mm, mm. Completion. Go rebels.